Hello friends, myself Mahesh Ramdas Jamkade. I am second year MBBS student of DUPMC Jalgaon, and today's my topic is good clinical practice. Good clinical practice GCP. First of all, we will see the definition of good clinical practice: a standard for design, conduct, perform monitoring, auditing, recording, analysis, and reporting of clinical trials that provide assurance that the data and reported results are credible and accurate, and that the rights, integrity, and confidentiality of trial subjects are protected. Good clinical practice is set of internationally recognized ethical and scientific quality requirements which must be observed for designing, conducting, recording, and reporting clinical trials that involve in participation of human subjects. Compliance with this good practice provides assurance that the rights, safety, and well-being of trial subjects are protected and that our results of clinical trials are credible. Now we will see the purpose of GCP. The purpose of GCP is to harmonize the regulations and guidelines for the drug development. Participants: regulatory agency, industry, representatives from Europe, Japan, and US. Now we will see the goal of GCP: to remove redundancy, duplication in development of review process. For new medical product, the data should demonstrate safety, equality, efficacy. Process: the now we will see the process of GCP. The developed guidelines were applicable for drugs, biologics, medical devices. It is approved by ICH members and it is adopted by national regulatory authorities. Now we will see some rules or codes. In 1948 Nuremberg Code, 1961 Thalidomide, 1962 USA the Drugs Amendment Act established the IND procedure. In 1964 worldwide the Declaration of Helsinki. In 1968 UK the Medicines Act. In 1976 Germany the drug law. In 1978 USA the FDA GCP established. In 1986 UK the ABPI guidelines issued. In 1989 Nordic GCP guidelines established. In 1991 France decree giving bones petics clinical legal force. In 1991 European Community EC GCP guidelines operational. In 1991 Australian GCP. In 1993 WHO GCP guidelines. In 1997 the ICH guidelines on GCP operational. In 2000 worldwide the DOH. In 2005 EU the GCP directive. In 2005 WHO handbook of GCP guideline for implementation. Now we will see what is Nuremberg Code. It is required voluntary, well-informed, understanding consent of human subject in a full legal capacity. The experiment should aim at positive results for the society that cannot be procured in some other way. It should be based on previous knowledge that justifies the experiment. The experiment should be set up in a way that avoids unnecessary physical and mental suffering and injuries. It should not be conducted where there is any reason to believe that it implies a risk of death or disabling injury. The risk of the experiment should be in proportional to the expected humanitarian benefits. The risk of experiment should be in proportional. The preparation and facilities must be provided that adequately protect the subjects against the experiment's risk. The staff who conduct or take part in experiment must be fully trained and scientifically qualified. The human subjects must be free to immediately quit the experiment at any point when they feel physically or mentally unusable to go on. Likewise, the medical staff must stop the experiment at any point when they observe that continuation would be dangerous. Declaration of Helsinki. It is another important part of GCP. Now we will see it. Research must conform to scientific principles, protocol and independent ethics committees. Supervision and conduct of trial by suitably qualified persons. Objectives and possible benefits balanced against risk to subjects. Privacy respected and minimal physical and impact on the subject. Informed consent. Good clinical practice. An internationally ethical and scientific quality standard for designing, conducting, recording, and reporting trials that involve the participation of human beings, public assurance that the rights, safety, and well being of trial subjects are protected. Results in credible data. Consistent with Declaration of Helsinki. 13 Principles of GCP. Clinical trials should be conducted in accordance with ethical principles that have origins in Declaration of Helsinki, that are consistent with GCP and applicable regulatory requirements. Before the trial is initiated, foreseeable risk and inconvenience should be weighted. The right, safety, and well-being of trial subjects are most important consideration and should prevail over interest for science and society. The available clinical and non-clinical information on an investigational product should be adequate to support the proposed clinical trial. Clinical trials should be scientifically sound and described in a clear, detailed protocol. The trial should be conducted in compliance with protocol that has received prior institutional review board, independent ethics committee approval, favorable opinion. The medical care given to and medical decisions made on behalf of subjects should always be responsibility of qualified physician or, when appropriate, a qualified dentist. Each individual involved in conducting the trials should be qualified by education, training, and experience to perform his or her respective task. Freely given informed consent should be obtained from every subject prior to clinical trial participation. All clinical trial information should be recorded, handled, and stored in a way that allows it accurate reporting, interpretation, and verification. The confidentiality of the records that could identify the trial subjects should be protected, respecting the privacy and confidentiality rules in accordance with the applicable regulatory requirements. Investigational products should be manufactured, handled, and stored in accordance with applicable good manufacturing practices. They should be used in accordance with approved protocol.